Hi, everybody. Good afternoon and good morning and good evening, whenever you're watching this. A blessed mid-May to you. Pastor Doug with you for another midweek moment, our few minutes together to encourage each other in the faith and to offer a blessing. And I have prayerfully looked into and am following through with a summer series, a summer sermon series. Try saying that 3 times. Summer sermon series called Honoring Our Neighbor's Faith. Honoring Our Neighbor's Faith. Probably I'd shorten it up. I'll call it Our Neighbor's Faith. Our Neighbor's Faith. There are, by my calculations, 9 Sundays in June and July. 9 Sundays in June and July, and throughout those Sundays, in each one of them, we'll explore a little bit about our neighbor's faith. And for example, on June 4th, we will look together at the Catholic faith, and I will expand on that in the sermon. In the Wednesday prior for the midweek moment that I'm doing now, each of those will look at the faith that is upcoming for a given Sunday. So, for example, on Wednesday, I think it's going to be the 24th next week, I will offer a reflection, a midweek moment on the Catholic faith in preparation for Sunday, June 4th. I hope I have those dates right. And then on June 11th, it'll be the Jewish faith tradition, and then Islam on the 18th, and then African-American Methodist AME Church on the 25th. That's kind of the plan. And ideally, then, on each Wednesday prior to that Sunday, I'll have a midweek moment highlighting that particular faith tradition. And then on Sunday, look at it a little further in the sermon time. And obviously, neither one of those venues allow me much time. These will not be in-depth looks at these particular faith traditions. I will produce maybe a 1 or 2 page sheet that I will copy, and I'll send it out electronically, and then we'll also make copies available at church, highlighting again the basics of that particular neighbor's faith. And hopefully these midweek moments may even be able to be ones where I interview a minister from that particular faith tradition. I have to say, I'm off to a rough start. Both of the Catholic priests in Speedway have declined to meet with me. One at St. Christopher, saying that his colleague is on a sabbatical and they're under construction, and he just was really, really busy. And then the St. Gabriel's Catholic Church, if I'm saying that right, has not yet responded to an email and a phone call. I've also emailed late last week the rabbi at Indianapolis Hebrew congregation, haven't heard back. So I'm not going to necessarily have the time to chase these folks down with summer schedules and so forth. It may be hard to interview somebody from that faith tradition, but I know I'll be able to get a few, and that'll be on that midweek moment, and that'll be really enjoyable, I think, to sit down with another minister from another faith tradition and discuss what they believe and why, and then perhaps compare that to our own ELCA. So a summer sermon series in June and July, those 9 Sundays, we will look at the faith traditions of our neighbors, and reflection in the Sunday service during the sermon. That Wednesday prior midweek moment can look further at it, and then also I'll produce a handout that you can have to take home. With also in that handout, I'll produce links where you can type something into your computer and you can get more information, because Google is our God, small g, way of operating in the world. I've had this on my mind. I've had this book, Our Neighbor's Faith, for a little while. I was toying with this as a theme for Lent, but it just didn't quite fit this year. But I've done it before, and I think it's very interesting. It can be very informative. Certainly are welcome to invite a friend or pass on these midweek moments to other people. Again, time and so forth will not allow an in-depth look. Not all of your questions will be able to be answered. I won't be able to go through in any depth, in regard to the sermon time without adding, time to the church services, which I certainly can't do at St. Andrews for the 9 o'clock service. Anyway, point is, we'll take a dip. We'll take a summer dip in the pool of our neighbor's faith. It'll be, I hope, enjoyable and enriching, and will spur your mind on to perhaps look some things up or to explore further on your own. I'm going to try to interview with one of the ministers of a particular faith tradition. And what I'm looking at doing, I think, is going to be starting on June 4th, the Catholic faith tradition. Then, so the three main ones, Catholic, Jewish, and Islam in June. And then on June 25th, the African-American Methodist Church. And then in July, Buddhism, the Baptist faith tradition, Hindu, and then on July 23rd, I'm not really sure. That's either going to be Disciples of Christ, which is Speedway Christian Church, and another one in town, or maybe a look at the Presbyterian and the Methodist Church, because they're an Episcopal. They're also very closely aligned with us. I'm going to have to center in on that one, but here's what's exciting. The whole thing will conclude on July 30th. At this point, we're planning a joint worship service together at Faith. And in that one, I plan to discuss our neighbor's faith within the Lutheran Church. Within the Lutheran Church, we're all subdivided, ELCA, and there's National Association of Lutheran Churches, which was formed after the sexuality decision in 2009. There's Lutheran Church Mission in Christ, LCMC. And so I'll pull all that together on July 30th. And again, that Wednesday before the midweek moment, we'll have information prepping us for Sunday, and I'll produce a handout or try to interview someone along that line. So just getting your feet wet, getting you excited. This is a great opportunity, to invite a friend or a family member to come with you to church, and we'll get started on June 4th with a look at the Catholic faith tradition. I invite your prayers for this. I invite your interest, and certainly on Wednesday night in the Bible study, we'll also be looking at the upcoming faith tradition. What I thought we'd do, so I'll have the Wednesday midweek moment, and then the Wednesday night Bible study. We'll also look at these different faith traditions. I thought what we would do then, the Wednesday night Bible study has been studying the lessons for the coming Sunday. And what I think we'll do is spend about half our time discussing the upcoming faith tradition. And then the other half, we'll look at the gospel lesson for this coming Sunday, or we can play it out depending on who's there and what the interest level is in discussion, and enjoy that time together in the same way. So, summer sermon series coming to a church near you, Faith Lutheran in Avon, St. Andrews and Speedway. Get excited for the summer. We'll take a look at our neighbor's faith. We'll pray for them and honor those neighbors' faith as they honor us. And I wish you well and pray that you are safe and feeling good about your life, and invite you to reach out to me if there's anything I can do anytime. Okay? Namaste. May the holy in me greet the holy in you. Thanks for listening in.